To toss one back with Kerouac, get a little smashed with Ogden Nash, start to read with Danielle Steele, slosh some gin with Anais Nin. It's time to get lit-faced while you are day drinking with Author.
Did it work that time? Okay, someone who's watching, let me know if you heard that amazing opening theme song written by my dear friends Jenny Kavanaugh and Daryl Barber, with this great graphic by LJ from Mayhem Cover Creations. I hope it worked. Please let me know. And if not, then there was like a weird blank space there and a technological problem, which means that everybody has a drink. Welcome back. Day Drinking with Authors. Today is a doozy, and I'm not just talking about the drink. I have the beautiful and talented Liz Talley, whose book, The Wedding Wars, was out earlier in March, and it is like a book full of like dynasty 1980s drama. So without further ado, here comes Miss Liz Talley. Look at you! Oh my gosh.
I decided to be very dramatic. I went for the Tennyson look, so.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's fun to have a reason to put on some lipstick. And I own a veil.
Yeah, she wore a black veil to her best friend's wedding. So I thought, well, when I came across it, why not? I mean, you know, we're day drinking, so why not wear a black veil?
You are classing the joint up, lady. You are classing it up. Okay, well, first, let's talk about this drink we're drinking.
Oh my gosh, it's good, isn't it? I mean, I like bourbon, so.
Well, 2 giant cups of it. I'm drinking mine
I'm a good Southern girl, you know.
Well,
I like my bourbon.
Mine out of a teacup because I thought that's what you Southern girls did, was drink bourbon out of a teacup.
Well, you know, you're being very Melanie to my Tennyson, so I appreciate it.
That is a really
You're doing the right things, lift your pinky, sister.
So this drink is called DeFlower Girl Punch, and you found it in like a BuzzFeed article about 4 big batch. And I got
like 5 of them.
We'll post the link for all of them when we're done with the video. But it is a classic punch in that it tastes very sweet going down, but man, there's 2 cups of bourbon and a bottle of wine.
I know. I figured it was perfect. I love a big batch of drinks because then you know, I hate like when you make a cocktail and there's just one and you're like, oh, I got to go to all that trouble again. I got to zest the lemon. And oh, this is a big batch. Look, I got my picture.
Oh, look at you. Oh, look at what I got. I have got my grandmother's punch bowl from her wedding.
Oh, and it's pretty too.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah. In keeping with our wedding theme.
Yes, I like it. I totally kind of dissed it, but I really kind of thought when I was looking at Fascinators, like I keep a fun box and I was looking for fun things. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, wait, I could totally do like black to the wedding. But, you know, of course, I don't have a sexy dress on. I tried to show a little shoulder, you know, little shoulder action, but I was not like going to put on a strapless bra. Let's just be honest.
Not in quarantine. Well, I thought Lucy, my daughter, who's 11, I was like, oh, for sure she's like got something in her, you know, trunk or whatever, like a veil. But my daughter went through a real zombie phase, so it's really scary stuff.
No pretty white veils. Yeah. They like get rid of that princess stuff too fast, don't they?
Way too fast. Way too fast. My niece,
she was in it for like 2 years and then she just wanted to wear Nike shorts and flip flops. I'm like, oh, I don't have girls. I have boys. I wanted to buy cute stuff. So.
And are both your boys home right now?
Well, yeah, they are. My oldest went to Florida with his girlfriend. I knew that was going to happen. With his girlfriend to help a friend move. They're selling their beach house and they were going to help do that. So anyway, yeah. So but the youngest one is here. So he just got off work. He's supposed to be corralling the dogs, but
yeah, doing a great job there.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be crazy to have both your boys home again after a bit of a break. You must be making food nonstop.
I've been cooking a lot. I kind of tailed off because I got tired of it. I was like, man, I'm sick of washing dishes. I'm sick of making food. And so the last couple, especially since Jake left, I've just been kind of like, we're just gonna kind of like eat some salads and like cut down.
Right.
I really need to cut down. I'll probably put on 5 pounds during quarantine, like legit. Because I've
Legit.
cooked so much, and I haven't been doing my workouts like I'm supposed to because my gym's closed. So anyway, I can't summon the energy like I usually can, just being out of that routine. So
Well, you summoned the energy today, and I really appreciate it. You really,
you
set a
I'm all
bar.
about drinking, sister. When you said day drinking, I was like, well, heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm good at that.
Your punch is much darker than mine. You're supposed to use. I got to say about this punch, and then we'll talk about the book.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use this seedless jam with the lemon juice is kind of like this sweet sour mix, and I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. It's amazing.
It's really good.
Forever from now on.
I love this drink. It's like a blackberry smash. It's like a blackberry bourbon smash is really what it is. I mean, if you look at those BuzzFeed, like there's a Long Island iced tea, there's a hurricane, but they just kind of, put funny names to it. But the link is cool because it's got all these Barbies doing trash, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So, face down a cupcake, and it's really funny.
Let's try not to end up there.
We had fun with that photo shoot.
I really like seeing all these people here. It's good to see you, Melissa. Awesome. Annika.
Yay.
My drinking buddy from last time. Sonali, Regina. Thank you. Demetra. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank y'all, guys. I appreciate it. I see some friends.
So a reminder, if you ask a question that we actually get to and answer, we'll send you some stuff. I don't know when, and I don't know what. So we'll send it.
I got a copy. I'll do a copy of the book. And if it's a writer friend or something, I'll do it for their readers. I'm cool with that. I mean, I'll do it and they can give it away or something. I don't care.
Perfect.
So yeah, I'll give away a book at least.
This drink's really growing on me.
Yeah. We're going to be really sloppy by the end of this.
All right. So let's get to this book.
Yeah.
You have in this book some of the most outrageous wedding showers, and then the wedding, obviously, and then another wedding sort of in the past. They are so over the top. Are these based on reality? Are these weddings that you've been to?
Well, I think, there's this dish towel I see all the time that says, in the South, we don't hide our crazy, we parade it down the street, type thing. That's the truth. I live in Louisiana. There are a lot of crazy people here. I have seen some really crazy things. So when I see people say, oh, this stuff will never happen, I'm like, oh yeah, it will. I'm going to lift this. Just
yeah. What you got?
Because for one thing, it's getting in my drink, and I feel like I can't even see you. But so I think like it is based. So there was actually a wedding last year in my town that was kind of a very over the top wedding, a very elaborate wedding, and they had like mimes and caricature artists and people on stilts. And costume changes and like flash mob singing during the wedding, and it was just like imported all these trees with all these lights, and there were like 3 bars. It was crazy. And so my friends, I had some friends that went to it and took pictures, and I had some friends that were like texting me from the wedding. So that wedding shower that I did, I feel like that could actually happen here in my town. I know that sounds crazy, but there could be a gondola with an opera singer or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think it could totally happen here.
One of the things that I like. I mean, I had a lot of things that I liked about it that we will get to. But one of the things that I liked about it was that the bride kept saying, "Oh, I want it to be simple," but then every time some like kind of wild thing would show up,
Well, I mean, yeah, because I think that's what brides are trying to say. Like, oh, I just want something just really simple and meaningful. And then when they get down to it, where they're like, this cake or that cake, they're like, well, I want that one that's really special and very expensive. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff was kind of over the top, but it also was, to me, just coming from the South, where everything is monogrammed, everything is a certain way. People down here are like extremely picky about everything, and what you wear. And I think a little bit kind of judgmental. I mean, I'm just going to say Southerners are a little judgmental in certain arenas on what you wear and how you do things. And if you don't have a certain person do your wedding, or you don't have a certain person do your cake, I think people talk about you. It's terrible, but it's probably true. But yeah, I think the bride probably will, says, I want something very simple and meaningful, but I mean, when offered the opportunity,
her mom says about her, oh no, she says she wants this, but she has champagne taste, and
absolutely, hell yeah, she wants her dress from that fancy shop.
Yeah.
She went and she said, these are all tacky. I mean, I could see a girl saying that. Like I can't buy my dress from here. I've got to go have this special fitting.
So, what was your wedding like? Was it like that?
Well,
oh my God, was it like that?
Oh, no. I mean, I am a pretty simple girl. I come from a very blue collar family. So my wedding was really simple. My husband's name is Doug. He was going to dental school and I had just graduated from college. I mean, we were young and it was like, we got married in the church. We had a reception. It was kind of punch and cake and finger sandwiches. Mm-hmm. And then we were off. There was no band. There was no alcohol. There was none of that. It was just very simple. But that's okay because it was beautiful, and I mean it was a sweet little Southern afternoon wedding. It was very, very Baptist, even though it was in the Methodist church. But that's kind of how it was. It was very Baptist in the Methodist church.
That seems very Southern in and of itself, too.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in a town where the Methodist church was on one side of the street, and the Baptist church was on the other. And my dad was a member of the Methodist. My mom was a member of the Baptist. So I went to church all Sunday morning. I started early service in one, walked across the street, and did Sunday school. I mean, yeah. So that's small Southern town, in the South. Everybody asks where you go to church. That's where they want to know. And if you say you don't have a church, girl, you better get ready for some banana bread on your porch. You're going to be recruited.
They're praying for you.
They're going to pray for you and bring you some banana bread.
So when I got married, so I was living in California. My husband was, wow, we are really off script already.
That's okay. That's all right. This is what people come for, the off script stuff.
So my husband was in Canada and I was living in California, and my Oma, who is very, 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 very prim and proper, wanted to come and help me shop for a wedding dress. And that was actually like my living nightmare. I'm calling my mom. I'm like, please make this not happen. And she's like, I can't, it's Oma. What are you going to do? so they come to California and I'm like, we're going to go to one place. I found one place I like. We're going to go to one place. And so we walk in, we kind of have an appointment. Like it was pretty low rent. It was a little funky. Like it was not what Oma was interested in.
Yeah.
Here we are. And there's like a group of people sitting in the couches waiting for these brides to come out.
Yeah.
And I come out, I find this one dress that I like, and it's really simple and it's kind of funky and really interesting. And it doesn't quite fit. And the lady's like, oh, I'm just going to clip this. Like they do.
Yeah. They're going to clip it.
But we'll figure it out. But I'm like sucking it in. And but I've got high hopes for this dress and I'm feeling really good. And I go outside and my mom's like, oh, Molly, it's so pretty. And my Oma leans to the guy who's like the father of one of the other brides. And she doesn't know how big she is.
Yeah. Only a grandmother can tell the absolute truth.
And I told that story, and every single member of my family that went shopping with Oma for wedding dress had another. Like she was.
They were like, absolutely. That's like taking my mom a swimsuit shopping. I mean, I'll come out, she'll be like, that one makes your butt look as wide as a barn. Turn around and go take that one off. I'm like, if somebody wants the truth, take my mama with them. Yeah. She'll tell you the truth.
Oma. Yeah.
Or Oma. Yeah. Oma or Jane, they will tell you the truth of what you look like in that dress. No lie.
I ended up buying my wedding dress for $150 on eBay.
Nice.
Yeah, Oma was more.
Girl after my own heart. I love like a good bargain. I pay a lot for stuff. My wedding dress was actually one that was like the sample. You know how they send the samples, but they sent like some big samples because I didn't wear a size. I didn't wear a sample size. I wore a bigger size, but it was a bigger size they had sent to the store, so I got it for like a good price. So yeah, I had a very budget wedding. I'm cool with a budget wedding. I mean, it's all about making the
Right, yeah.
vows and saying the vows, you know? So, I mean, I kind of am down with that.
So one of the things I want to talk about the book before we really lose the thread here is, okay, so here, I'll give so without giving away any spoilers for anybody who hasn't read this, I very much recommend that you pick up this book. Right now, it is a beautiful distraction. Like, it's a very good book.
Right. Yeah, it's entertaining. I don't think many people, they may not like it because the characters are a little raw, but I think they're not going to say it's boring.
No,
they'll say it's interesting, right?
We'll talk about the raw characters, but one of the things, so you have these two girls were friends growing up. One of them did something terrible to the other one, and they were never going to be friends again. They were never even going to see each other again. But then by, fate, their two children meet and fall in love. So now they're planning this wedding together.
Right.
And so one of the things that I loved about it was this kind of forgiveness arc. And it's such a tricky thing. And I think you handled it so well, because the thing that the one person does has to be so bad that the other person can't immediately forgive them. But then you also have to make the forgiveness forgivable, or the forgiveness believable. And
I thought about this. I was thinking about it today, and I can just say what Tennyson did, because I want people to go read the book. And it is kind of drags you along. But I was thinking about that because you and I have had a conversation kind of about this, but Tennyson had to be in a certain place in her life to do what she did. A person who is in a healthy relationship, who's happy, would not do what Tennyson did. She would not dress like this and show up at the wedding of her ex-boyfriend and do what she did. She was in a very bad place in her life. And so if you read the book, you find out, she had this dream of being an actress. She was going to go on Broadway. She was going to, just the things you do when you're a girl, you think this is going to be my life. And when you get to your early 20s, you think, I'm going to have this. I can have it all. Cause that's what we believe as women. We can have it all. And so Tennyson believes she's, yeah. And so Tennyson's at a bad point in her life because she's dating a guy that's married, and she's, she finds out she's pregnant. I mean, that's not really a surprise in the story. And things are not going well. She can't get a job. I mean, things are just bad for her. She's in New York City. She's in a bad situation when she receives that wedding invitation. And I think had she been in a happy relationship, she wouldn't have done that, right? But she's in a bad place in her life. And so, really when I'm crafting characters, I'm thinking, what makes someone do what Tennyson does? Well, they have to be in a bad place. They have to be in a place that where they think, oh, hell no, she doesn't get to be happy. She doesn't get my life, which is what Tennyson thinks. She doesn't get to have my life. So they invited me to the wedding. Well, hell yeah, I'm showing up. And I'm showing up in a veil with red lipstick and a drop dead pour me into a black dress. And I'm going to make them regret what they're doing, which is a very irrational thing for someone to do. But that's where she is in her life. So, yeah.
So then on the other side of that, okay, so I have two questions. Did you have to keep making the thing worse, or did you start at a pretty bad place and your editor was like, hey, I mean, yikes? Or
no, first of all, my editor really loved it. My editor really loves raw kind of characters that do wrong things. So that's the first thing. My editor came out of a suspense line. So when your editor comes out of suspense, she appreciates characters that are a little bit badly behaving. So that's cool. But she really didn't hold me back. She really loved that it got worse and worse and worse. And so the thing is that Tennyson, as this character, which is her defense, being this is Tennyson's defense. That's her defense mechanism, and for Melanie, conversely, Melanie is the one who really comes unraveled throughout the book. She really is the one who, by the end of the book, she's repressed so much anger and she's been hurt so much by the people in her life that she just kind of, pardon my French, she kind of loses her shit, she really does. And so it's really a study in character for me, this story. And it really rolled right. I had a good framework, engagement party to wedding. I had a nice framework. It really just rolled right. It flew out of my fingers, and I cried and I laughed and I cried and I laughed.
Oh, that's always a good sign.
And I loved it. And so I like my badly behaving women. So I like writing them.
Well, I liked it too. And one of the things that I really responded to, and we can talk about the raw 40-year-old women. I mean, we can talk about that shit all day. Sorry. Like I did like how, I mean, they were angry. They were both angry, and they were both scared, and they were both full of pride. I mean, so much pride.
Yeah.
And they all got set on their butts. Like that was a really, and I liked how raw they were. And I wonder if you have any thoughts about, sorry, I keep glancing this way. Because I'm a little drunk.
Well, I'm about there. I'm about getting there. So
filling up my teacup a few times. Sorry. But if you have any thoughts about how you navigate writing those kinds of female characters, because Lord knows, like particularly coming out of romance, where both of us,
right.
It is a very straight and narrow line. So, like, what are your thoughts about it? What's your
well, coming out of romance, I think you and I have kind of done the same thing. Okay, so Molly and I started together in super romance. She was the first author that I met when I went to my first event as an author. And she was kind. I was so nervous. I was nervous as hell when I went, and I could just remember thinking, I love this girl. Like you were just nice to me. Aww. And sometimes when people don't know you, they just kind of. And it's not that authors are ever mean to anyone. I don't think that. But when you don't know another author, sometimes you're standoffish. You were very kind to me, so we both kind of started writing the same.
Awkward. Yeah, sorry, well,
sometimes we are awkward. That's true. That's
the world. Go ahead.
But okay, so we both started writing the same kind of books, super romance, which were these kind of layered stories anyway, which I love layered stories. That's kind of my, my jam. So when I moved into this, I just kind of let go, and I let my characters in a very organic way determine what they're going to do. When I had this idea, the idea I actually had when I was walking with a friend, and she has a daughter who's dating a guy whose mother I know and who I'm friends with, but they're very opposite ladies. Okay, so one is kind of over the top like Tennyson. She's a little more extra. And then my friend is very dialed down. She's very, very dialed down as a person. And I just made the comment, if they keep dating, you're gonna have to do a wedding with her. And then we started kind of laughing at how different they were and how different their visions of the wedding would be. And I was like, that would make a hell of a book. Well, and then so I just let my characters write it. I gave them a backstory. I gave them, and I really didn't want it to be a man they had beef over, but I figure when you're a teenage girl, you bring somebody like Kit, who's the guy that Melanie marries, but was Tennyson's kind of first true love boyfriend. I think there's always that emotional element for girls, that first love. And for both of them, Kit was their first love. They were two best friends in love with the same guy. Yeah. And that right there is conflict. It's conflict laden. And so I just kind of let that run. And so,
and honest, like having finished the book last night, it's, I mean, yes, it's that on the surface, but what it really is Tennyson saying, like, that's my life, that security that you've got, that like your future unrolled, like you could see it from the, the altar at the church, how their lives would be. And she was saying that I've made a lot of mistakes and I want that back. Yeah. So
right.
It's really powerful.
Yeah, I think it's powerful, and it really is a testament of it really is an exploration of women's friendship, and it's an exploration of women where they are when they're 47 and 48, which is where I am. I'm 47, about to be 48, and it's where I am in life because I have kids that are growing up, and I have one that's about to graduate from college, and he has a very serious girlfriend, and it's what is my role in life? What is my role? I've had this husband who, I've been in love with forever. I mean, he was my high school sweetheart. Where do I fit in? Where's my life? And I think a lot of women grapple with that because when they hit this age, they change from being a wife and mother to also, it sounds crazy, but kind of being a person again. I feel like I'm a person again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've been a wife and mother for a long time, but also at this time, I kind of feel like I'm a person. Like I have my own life, and I have I have a career now, a career I never thought I would have. I mean, but that's really cool. And
Yeah.
so I really wanted to explore that with Melanie and Tennyson. Melanie's not there. She's pressed everything down. By the end of the book, what I think Melanie brings to it is she realizes she can have a different life. And that's what I wanted her to realize, that her life can be different than what she thought it could be. And really the same for Tennyson. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It is interesting when you like the framework of the novel, because there is a tendency, and I mean, obviously this is not every person's life and not every woman's life
Right.
and not everybody's experience. I'm speaking from my own and from this teacup. But
I'm speaking from the martini glass.
there is a tendency from that wedding day, you know, through to kids and raising kids, and
Mhm.
there's a pause button that keeps getting pushed, I think. And I think you handled that really well. Like, you know, you're a wife now, pause. You're a mom now,
Right.
pause. And I thought, like,
Right.
just, yeah. And when you're 48, there's nothing else you're pressing pause on. Like,
No,
who
not
are you?
really.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. You're kind of looking back at it a little bit, and then you're looking ahead and you're kind of seeing yourself as a new person. And that's to me kind of what I wanted to explore with them. And Gabriel, can you please get the dog? I'm sorry, y'all. They're supposed to be watching the dogs. Tilly's like sitting at the door. Talley is sitting at the door whining and carrying on. So, but yeah, I think like you get at a certain age and you're kind of like, can I You'll see him go by? He's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Mom.
God forbid I get up and do something. But yeah, so I really wanted to explore that. I really like the age they are. I was very, very pleased with they were still women who still had a life to live, but they were also women who were finding themselves. You know, they were finding who they are.
All right. So a super quick reminder that, and I haven't been paying attention and I'm terrible. I'm sorry. If you've asked a question, we haven't seen it because we're not paying attention. Please ask it again. I'll keep one eye on it. While you tell me, what are you able to work right now? Are you working on something new? Like what?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
I just turned in a new book. I found out my title's official. It's called Adulting, and it's set in California.
That's
it's about a washed up.
That is a very good title.
Yeah, it's called Adulting. It's about a washed up I would say washed up. It's about a 25-year-old actress, kind of like Lindsay Lohan, Drew Barrymore mismatch, who is trying, you know, she has addiction problems. She has some hard things in her past. And so it starts with her opening up with her in rehab. And then my other character is Olivia, who's a life coach. And she owes a favor to a producer who wants Chase, who is the actress in his movie. And so basically she takes her out of rehab, finishes her sobriety therapy, and then takes her to Northern California to a cabin to do adulting boot camp to teach her how to be an adult. And so it's a story where they both realize that they both have some issues they need to work through. That Olivia, you know, when she goes back to her past or her childhood cabin, she has some secrets and some things in her past she hasn't dealt with. And so as she and Chase kind of become friends, and there's a little bit of romance, but it's mostly just a women's fiction about these two very opposite people becoming friends, and both of them kind of learning how to adult at the same time.
That sounds fantastic. So when do you think that will be out?
It will be out in February of 2021. So until then, I'm taking my old super romances, and I've got the rights back. I know you have some of yours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be going through and just brushing those up and modernizing them a little bit, putting new covers on. Putting those suckers up for sale.
There's a lot of fax machines. I'm not going to lie.
There's a BlackBerry or two. There's a beeper. We got to get rid of the beepers.
Yeah.
And really just some of the language. You know, I went through and I was like, why did I use that word? Oh my God. Like, what were you thinking? Can't use that word. And so I just want to clean it up and make it where it's more modernized. But there's still great stories. I love my super romance stories. Yeah. I mean, I just loved them. And, you know, we had a great edit. We had the same editor. Our editor, Wanda Ottawell, taught me so much. God love her. She taught me so much, and she really let me do a lot of really crazy stories. She just was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. You know, so yeah, I want to put those stories out.
We have two fun questions here, both from Tamitra.
Okay.
How much honestly? How much alcohol do you think you've consumed since the quarantine has started? Do you feel like it's increased, or are you holding steady? Or how are you doing?
You know what? I have slacked off a little bit, Trimitra. I want you to know I have slacked off. But I was having wine every night. I mean, I couldn't deal with it. It's been hard on all of us. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home person, right? Because I write. But my husband was home with me.
Yeah.
That meant I had to pour a lot of wine. So I drank a little bit. And I've put on 5 pounds. I lost 19 pounds on Weight Watchers. I've probably put about 5 pounds back on. I mean, I think a lot of it is the booze. I mean, some of it's the cookies, but a lot of
the booze. Well, my husband and I were like really like leaning in on these social Friday and Saturday nights. And I would go to bed and I'd wake up and I'd lay in bed and I'd be like, oh, I think I drank that. And then I'd come down and I'd go, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I pulled back. Like
the recycling bin. I wanted to apologize to the people with the recycling bin. I wanted to say, I saw a meme where people used to say, I'm not an alcoholic. And now they'd be like, I swear I didn't have a party. I swear I didn't have a party.
Yeah, there's a party for me.
I consumed all that. There was no party here.
Yeah. What? Whoa. Sorry. Whoa. From Amy Boyer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a friend of yours, or is she related to Jessie Boyer, who's a friend of mine? Anyway, doesn't matter. Damn you, teacup. What is the craziest thing you have ever personally witnessed at a wedding or shower?
Oh, well, I haven't witnessed anything, but I have a neighbor who actually got a little inebriated at the reception, and he fell over into the wedding cake. He fell into the wedding cake, and then he picked it up, and they had a food fight. And the bride's parents were so upset. I mean, like, he had to pay for all the damages at the country club.
Well, yeah. Oh my God.
So I didn't witness it, but it's a fun story that we tell that he got a little too inebriated and fell into the cake, and then they had a cake fight at the wedding. See, I tell you, this is what happens in the South. This happens in the South.
Well, I was trying to think of funny wedding stories to tell you, and I thought of this one, and I wasn't going to tell you or any of you on Facebook Live, but I've had a teacup. Oh, I'll tell it.
Just say it. Just do it. Just do it.
So my husband and I, there was a period of time where if you invited us to a wedding in our young, flexible years, it probably meant that we would be overcome with the love in the air, and we would find a broom closet and we would fool around. So there's a period of time that if you invited us to a wedding and you were like, where's Adam and Molly? That we were in a broom closet. Well, I'm so sorry, Adam. So we were in this broom
That's
closet.
wonderful.
We're in this broom closet, and the door opens, and this guy comes in, and we are all like staring at each other. And he slams the door, and Adam and I are like, oh my God, what is happening? And he's like, that's the employee change room. I just need my shoes.
Did y'all just hand them out?
We put the shoes up. We like hand them to them.
You tell the best stories. Yeah. The other night we were talking about high school graduation, and I remember your reunion story. Do you remember the reunion story you told me with the breakaway pants?
No, too many of those people are following me on Facebook. Can't do it.
That was the best story. I mean, you're full of them. There's a reason why you're an author and you write terrific stories, because you have the best stories. I don't know what kind of life you led, but it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. But on that note, I said it would be 20 minutes, and here we are at 30.
Well,
it's
hard when you're drinking. You lose track of time.
I still have a giant punch bowl full of booze. I'm gonna.
I have a whole pitcher. I'm continuing the party. My husband doesn't know it, but we're about to have some fun. Maybe not broom closet fun, but
no. I mean, those are behind us. We have dodgy hips and everything. So it's no good. It's no good. This is our second drunk writer talk, or
wonderful
writers. And it's been great. Thank you so much.
It's been great. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate everyone coming, and hopefully you'll check out the book at some point. And
we will. If you've asked a question we didn't get to, you will respond and send out prizes at some point.
Yeah.
Everybody. Ooh, I do have. So next week's lineup for anybody interested.
Yeah.
On Monday, it is YA author Tracy Wolf. She was another.
She's another super romance author. We're super talented, y'all.
And her YA novel, her book Crave.
It's going to Universal.
It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening to her. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be drinking a vampire kiss. And then on Thursday, Andy J. Christopher and I are going to be talking about Not That Kind of Guy, and we're drinking tequila sunrise mimosas, which is a mimosa with tequila in it. She doesn't know that part yet, but
wow.
Okay.
Tequila makes your clothes fall off.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Stay home. Have a drink. Bye.